Hello, this is Patricia with the Enlightened Path podcast. And this is our second episode. I'm so excited. And today's episode, we've invited Helen Watson to come and talk with us. Helen is a local psychic medium in the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex. And how long have you been doing this, Helen?
42 years.
42 years. I know she's at every psychic fair, wellness event that I'm at, and a lot of them that I'm not at. And so she's been doing this for a long time, and she's well known and well respected in our community here. Always willing to give hugs, always a smile, and I'm so excited that you've agreed to come and be with us here today. And so Helen's focus today for us is raising our individual frequency. And she's agreed to do 2 amazing meditations for us. And so I'm so excited. So welcome, Helen Watson. I'm going to move this out of my way. I have a little cheat to remind me how to introduce you. And so I'm so happy that you're here, and I'm just going to mute myself and let you go for it. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Yes, I was going to say that everything starts with the individual. And the very best way for starters, the introduction as a psychic medium to either be one, as I'm sure most of you listening already are, is to do a meditation on universal love and how you do that. And even if you're very busy and you only have 5 minutes or less, but throughout the day when you can do this, send love to every cell in your body and focus on that universal love, the energy from the universe. Send yourself love to every cell in your body, and then send that energy to all of your friends and your pets and all that you love, and extend that energy to everyone in the neighborhood and throughout the world. You could even go to the galaxy. So that is the meditation that the yogis in India do. And we could go about it a little bit slower, but even if you're pressed for time, really busy lifestyle, which I'm sure all of you are, just even if it's for just a couple of seconds, just send that energy to yourself. And through your heart chakra, send love to everybody. Because when you make spirit contact, you have to raise your frequency because they have to lower theirs a little bit. So that is, all you are is pure universal love. That it's easier to connect with spirit. You start hearing spirits and seeing them and everything. But I would definitely start with that. And I'm sure that most of you practitioners out there are already doing a meditation like that or similar, but that's a good one. That's exactly what the yogis do in India. And yeah, absolutely. Oh yes, Patricia, what other things do you want to ask me? Oh, you can't hear. So yeah, just do that and then enjoy just all forms of metaphysics, just all of them. I have a friend of mine named Norma. She's a practitioner, and we use a lot of Sanskrit. And one of them I love is Hydra-K OK Keel, and that is we're connected with the earth and all things in it, so you don't feel like you're just isolated. So you're definitely connecting you to spirit and to just all people and animals, plants, earth, and that sort of thing. So yeah, I was going to share that one, and of course anything that you can read spirit about connecting with spirit. Everybody's a little bit different, but that pure love energy is very much going to open up your connection with spirit and make it very clear. And so that's That's one of them. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I encourage everybody out there that's listening to take all metaphysical classes, read, share with others. But the pure love energy is the most powerful of all. Absolutely. And it's
Are
not
you
really what.
teaching?
Oh,
Are
I'm
you
sorry.
are you teaching any classes?
Yes, yeah. Normally, I'm pretty busy with working on the fairs and looking after my clients individually, one on one. But yeah, I do teach classes. I teach at the Greenman Studio currently, and that is in South Lake. I taught a class on how to attract romantic love, how to get a significant other, a husband or girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever person's wants in a relationship. I taught one on that. Yeah, yes, I do. And I do a whole bunch of, go ahead, Patricia, I'm sorry.
No, no, no. I was going to say, so do you have a website? Are there any events listed on your website where you're teaching?
Well, actually, I was going to get with Arthur Gray and start teaching some there. And if anybody has any suggestions on what they're wanting, yeah, I can definitely either set up time one-on-one or a class or anything for sure.
Okay, so people could contact you if they're interested in hosting a class for you to give a class at their store, or they could
Yes.
contact you for that. That would be great, because I mean, you've got so much experience. And so what advice would you give someone who wants to expand their spiritual gifts? You said classes, books, but are there any specifics that you can give someone?
Well, it would depend on their situation and what they got going on in life. I would definitely start with well, yes, the pure love meditation is good. Uh, it just so I'm trying to think. It kind of depends on the individual. But if they really want to talk to the spirit world and just do that, I would definitely start with that love meditation because they're naturally gonna get either like the clear ascension or any of the clairs, which is French for clear seeing.
Oh, I
Um,
see. Okay.
so I
And
would
you're
definitely,
going to take us through that meditation, right?
yes,
Okay. All right.
absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, you want me to do that right now?
Oh yeah, I'm
Uh,
going to mute myself so that you won't get my
o-
interruption noises.
okay, okay. I start with let's talk about Mother Earth. Mother Earth purifies everything. And there's ions, scientifically, there's ions in the earth. So visualize the energy of the earth going, truly see it in your mind's eye, the energy going at the bottom of your feet to your mid calves, all the way up to your knees, and really feel it, the power of earth. And it would help if you didn't have any shoes on. That would be, if possible. Feel that energy, just really feel it, feel the diamond light of the earth all the way to your, all the way up to your thighs and to your root chakra. And the root chakra, I'm sure that you all already know what that is, but that is where you're just, where you truly want your true just desires that you want on everything about you as an individual. And feel the energy going up to your sacral chakra, which is around your bladder and abdomen. And the sacral chakra it's kind of it's a lot of flow, so that is where you can express yourself, your true feelings come out in that area, and all the way up to your solar plexus where you got courage and so many other things. And then to your heart chakra, um, and then up to your throat chakra and your third eye, your pineal gland, and your crown chakra. Now, visualize a huge diamond over your head and visualize the energy of the universe in that diamond, and know that this energy is of the universe, and the universe loves us. And if we can have a clear mind, the universe will give us exactly what we desire and what they think we need to. So visualize the diamond light of the universe going through the top of your head, your crown chakra, all the way, okay, to your third eye, which is your pineal gland, where you can see everything on a psychic level, and then to your throat chakra, where your speech and your communication is blessed, to your heart chakra, where we love ourselves and others, and to your solar plexus, and down to your sacral chakra and your root chakra, and all the way down your legs to the bottom of your feet. So we're perfectly connected with the earth and the ground. So we're perfectly connected. So we're a perfect channel, we're a perfect conduit for spirit contact. But I would definitely suggest doing the love meditation first, because that's going to open things. And then now that your human body is connected, then you're going to automatically start either, oh, everybody's a little bit different. Sometimes people will hear things from spirit, sometimes they can see things. And a lot of people see spirit through their mind's eye. But I think for most people, everybody's different. But a lot of times you'll hear something and you'll think, oh my goodness, I'm just talking to myself, but it's actually spirit. But know that these energies that are coming in are from the universe. They're not some something weird like a sci-fi channel or something that is very negative, or only good spirits will come to you with the love frequency, starting with that.
So that was the love meditation.
That, okay, the one I just did with that was physically connecting to spirit. But I would start off with the love meditation, and the love meditation is sending love to every cell in your body and extending that love to your immediate family and see their faces in everyone, and then extending it to the neighborhood and keep extending it. It absolutely, it would be done a little bit slower, but just that love, that pure love frequency is the most powerful energy. And I would do that one first, then do the physical connection to have your body as a conduit. But always start with always start with the grounding, protection, and shielding. And that's why I said was talking about the meditation for the love frequency first. Definitely.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and a lot of people think, it's a busy lifestyle, and we have to spend hours and hours meditating. Well, you could, but even just for a couple of minutes to do the love meditation, and then plug into the universe with your physical body and your being. But it's good to go slow. It's got to be practice. It's got to be repetition. Repetition is the mother of skills, and it's kind of hard to do being a human and then being doing metaphysical stuff too. But it works very clear.
Have you found that? I know for me, you're talking about repetition, but at some point you go into auto reaction, and
Absolutely.
so for you, I would imagine that you no longer have to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to send love out. Okay, now I'm going to connect with the earth and the diamond light and bring it in. Because for me, on a lot of things that I do it now, just automatically. And there are times even when I have to stop, and when somebody will ask me, how do you do this? How are you doing that? My first reaction is, I don't know. I just do it. And so one of the things that I tell people is the beings that I work with, that I will actually ask the beings to slow the process down and show me what it is that I'm doing, so that I could explain it to people, because I just do it. I don't know how to tell people how to do it sometimes, because it's, in number one, it's my process, right?
Right.
It's my intuitive process, and everybody has their own intuitive process,
Absolutely.
probably that they're already doing. But it's always nice to hear someone else's process and then go, oh my goodness, I've been doing that for as long as I can remember, and I didn't even realize that I was doing it. So it's good that you reminded people, and even those people who are already out in the community doing readings or doing healings for people or connections. A lot of them are probably are going to watch this and go, oh my God, I already did that. I just didn't realize that's what I was doing. And so it's good that you've reminded people of that, and that those that are just starting out that don't have a process, it's good that you've shared that with them. Yeah. So are those the two meditations that you were going to share?
Yeah. Those are, those are really, really good. And absolutely, I think that all metaphysical people, whether they've been in metaphysics their whole life, such as yourself, or it's their first day in metaphysics, it makes no difference. I really feel that everyone's an individual. And I mean, yeah, absolutely. Like, some people are slightly more clairvoyant. Some people are claircognizant or in different just different sensations. Everybody is so different, and I would encourage everyone to embrace their metaphysical abilities through their own individuality, because the same thing is not going to work for everybody. It is not a one size fits all, like all purpose flour.
Yeah.
That go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say that there's some things that I really love to use for helping induce spirit activity. And one of them I love is sandalwood. So absolutely, I want everybody out there to use some kind of prop, because the universe draws you to something. I like to use cinnamon, or like sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon around my front door. And when I'm at the fairs, I sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon because it's kind of a love frequency, but I love the frequency of cinnamon. And everybody is so different. And there's a lot of things you can use in your kitchen. Like if somebody's got a court case, they would use a little bit of ginger, put it in a little baggie if you got to go to court or something. And there's a lot of, I like to use props and stuff like candles and incense. And some people, they like sprays, but absolutely any kind of that you want to use, because the universe as an individual is going to draw you to certain things, and everybody's different. There's no two metaphysical practitioners that are the same. They're just going to use different techniques, and everybody's different.
Right. Because I mean, I believe that we're born with all of the clairs, clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, that we're born with all of those, but we have one that is forefront for us, because for myself, for instance, I am not visual, and I'm not really kinesthetic all the time. My primary is claircognizance, where I just know what I know. And that really stumped me for a long time, because everybody was saying, oh, can you see this spirit? And, oh, can you feel this crystal? And I'm like, the crystal's pretty, but no, I don't feel it, and so I felt that there was something wrong with me. And so it took me a long time to to finally appreciate that my gift is claircognizance,
Mhm.
where I just know what I know, and I have to trust that I know what I know. And so when I'm doing readings for people, that's my go-to, is that I get a knowing about that person.
Mhm.
And for me, as far as the mediumship is concerned, if a spirit comes in, if one of their dead relatives or a
Mhm.
guide, a
Yeah.
helper comes in, I don't see them, whereas you may see them. I don't see them, but I know what they look like. I can describe them. If they have a particular smell, I can describe the smell, but I
Mhm.
don't smell it, right? But
Right.
I know what the smell is. And so, but also there have been, in my short life, there have there have been times when I have seen full body apparitions, but it's really, really rare for me to see a full body apparition. In other words, clairvoyance, for those that don't know. And there are times when I will smell, I mean, physically smell smoke or a
Mhm.
perfume or a flower, but it's very rare for me. So that's why I believe that we're born with all of the clairs, but we have one that's primary,
Right.
one
Mhm.
primary gift.
Mhm.
So is your primary gift clairvoyance? What is your primary gift? What do you use when you're doing readings?
Uh, Actually, it's pure channel. I asked universe or God or whoever. Everybody's got their different higher power. I just asked the universe to. Well, first, I like to find out what they're wanting to know, or what they're, what they're wanting to get out of the reading. Of course, I'll word it in such a way. Well, I'll ask the universe to bless my throat chakra and let them know what it is, what I'm picking up, and ask the universe to put it in such a way that it's something that they need to know. It's something
Okay.
that would help them. And I'm all so yeah, that's exactly what I do. It's something that they need to know, that the universe wants to know, and it's usually not something the person knows, because we're all only human, but it's just something
Right.
that they need to know.
I know that I've had over the years, I have no idea how long I've known you, because time just
No.
really is strange for me. But I think I've probably known you maybe 15 years, maybe 10 years. I don't know. But um, I know that I've had several readings from you,
Yeah.
and
I
they
love
were all
reading.
highly accurate. And there are times when you've told me things, which happens with, I think, probably all readings. There are times when you've told me things that are out of range for me. In other words, it's like, I don't know, is that true? And not that we doubt what you say, but at the time it's out of
Mhm.
range for us. And then it comes into range and we go, oh my God, Helen told me about this,
Yeah.
and that's happened for me several times with you. But I wanted to mention that for people who, number one, are going for readings, that when someone is giving them a reading and they say something, for instance, the last thing that you told me, one of the last readings that you gave me, you said, I see you speaking in front of large audiences. And my first reaction is, that ain't gonna happen, because um, if there's anybody that doesn't like to be out front, it's me. I definitely want to be in the background. But what happened after that was there was an opportunity that came to me to be a speaker for large groups. So
You did
you were
great.
seeing that, right? You were seeing that possibility even before it came into my atmosphere. And so I wanted to just remind people that when you're getting readings from people and they say, oh, I see this person coming into your life, or I see money coming into your life, or I see this great job coming into your life. Don't say, oh no, that's not possible, because when you do that, you block it, don't you? You find that? Yeah.
Open, yeah. Oh yeah.
And so just be open when people like Helen or me or whomever tells you that there's some blessing coming into your life. Try not to, try is not a good word, but make an effort not to block it. Just say, oh my God, that sounds amazing. I would love that to come into my life, and just accept the blessing, But there was one other thing that while you were talking, the beings that talked to me, while the beings were talking to you, the beings that talked to me were asking me to point something else out. So as a reader, for those of you who are considering offering this service to other people, and it is a service, isn't it, Helen?
Oh yeah,
and sometimes the service is a hardship, because once you open yourself up to these energies, there's not always a clock. So for me personally, I have rules. I've made rules, and I'm going to ask you about yours in a minute, Helen, but I have rules. Rule number one is they can't come into my bathroom.
Oh yeah.
Number two is they can't come into my bedroom and disturb my sleep. And so if they want to talk to me, if they want to give me a message outside of me doing readings for someone, they have to do it when it's convenient for me. But because I have talked to so many people who will say, oh my God, they woke me up at 2 a.m. this morning. There was a face in front of me, and, they wanted to talk. And, I'm like, you have to make rules, because there's still the law of free will, right, Helen? Absolutely. You still have the right to say, I am off the clock. Okay. So how do you handle that?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I hope everybody hears this, but that the human is the one that makes the rules. The universe gives us free will, and you tell them, boundaries, like you can talk to me at 4 p.m. I'm cooking dinner at 5:30 or whatever you've got, going on. Yeah, absolutely. And if you're ever doing a meditation and you hear a weird voice where you don't think it's for a positive energy, tell it to leave. So you don't ever have to be afraid of things that go bump in the night. And there's always grounding, protection, and shielding before you even get started on a meditation or reading or whatever. But yeah, absolutely. And so so the metaphysical person is the one that's in charge. If you don't like the tone of somebody's voice and you hear it, you tell them to leave, and only good things. Yeah.
Right. I think, well, I don't just think, I know for sure that we have become so programmed, distortedly programmed with that we have to accept whatever comes to us. And we forget that we are sovereign beings, and that we live under the law of free will. And that if there is a spirit trying to talk to us that we don't get a warm and fuzzy from, we have the right to tell them go away, and they have to go away. I have so many people who contact me, and probably you as well, who will say, that these beings are just basically taking over their lives. And I'm like, why? You live under the law of free will. You're a sovereign being. You have the right to say, not today, or leave my fields, or, you're not allowed to speak with me. You're not allowed even to touch me, because there was one instance here in my house when I first moved in here, that there was a spirit, and we moved into a new house. So, but there are spirits that live on every millimeter of this earth. And so even if you build a new house, it doesn't mean the house isn't haunted. you know, because there are beings that live in that atmosphere. But anyway, there was a spirit, and when I went into one of the bedrooms, one day it touched me, and I was shocked, and I thought, really? And then my second instinct was, you are not allowed to touch me. Back up. If you want to talk to me, that's one thing, but you are not allowed to touch me, and so, but a lot of people forget that. And so I hope that you all hear us, what Helen has said and what I've shared is that you have a right to put up your boundaries, put up your shields and say, not today, we're not having that conversation. And also, can you share when you're calling in, whenever you're opening yourself up, like you have a client in front of you and the client is asking particular questions, and what do you do if you have a spirit come in who we call posers? You know what a poser is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So can you share what you do in those instances?
Well, I mean, on a human level and as a reader, I mean, there's a code of ethics that I would say, depending on, let's say somebody was terrified, they were getting their first reading or something, and they had a real heavy, like Baptist, which I love Baptist religion background, and they felt that getting readings were taboos. It would depend on the individual. And I literally saw kind of a dark entity around them, which I've seen a zillion times. I would word it in such a way, but I would definitely, and I always encourage, it sounds so simple, but it's so powerful. Before somebody even gets started on either it's meditation or let's say they're doing a whole bunch of readings for somebody, whatever, always light a white candle, because that is literally the light of God. And that's gonna, in anything negative is going to be repelled by the light of God or the light of the universe, however somebody wants to. But I would word it in such a way. And I've seen incidents where some people have actually made friends with these darker spirits. And so, and a lot of times I've noticed that with healers. I mean, I love all my healers. They're great people I work with. That sometimes when somebody's getting healings, they're mad, they get in a bad mood because they don't realize it, but they've made friends with the dark energy that's making them sick. And they feel like without that dark energy, they wouldn't be alone, and they don't know what's happening. And all kinds of things happen, but there are such a thing as attachments and all that. I know, Patricia, all too well. So there's a lot of dynamics involved. And sometimes I know people get attachments and on them if they're around somebody that's really negative or feels hopeless. I mean, we're all humans to a certain point, but if it's there is dark energy, I think there's some type of a ritual, a blessing, or in a lot of cases even exorcism is required. So it depends on the level of what's really going on. House clearing.
Yeah, I do. I end up doing a lot of that work.
Yeah.
And what I found is that people have, I call them agreements, contracts, blood oaths, promises, yada, yada. I have actually, worked with people who have agreements with the dark side.
Oh, you better
before they came into existence in this body, they made an agreement to work with the dark side. And it is a tricky circus to work with those people. And I worked with one lady who said that she was ready to end that agreement with the dark side. And so we did that work. And we called in, and instead to replace her agreements with the dark side, we called in agreements to work with angels and, those that work with the light. And she was real happy with that for a very short period.
And then the retaliation
she called the dark ones back in because she had gotten so used to their energy. their energy was familiar to her.
Right.
And the power that she felt when they were around, you know, she had become used to that frequency that they carried. And so when they left, she missed it.
Right.
Missed it. And although I guess emotionally she wanted to work with the light beings.
She did, but she can't.
Yeah,
And
because
that's
she was so used to the dark energies, and so she went back to the other side. And that's the thing about me, is that's her right.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Because we came here to play a part, and who am I to judge that the part that she agreed to come here and play was to work with the dark side in order to bring enlightenment, or bring a mirror to someone else that needed to know, oh, the dark side's not right for me. And so I never judge people, no matter if they're working with the dark or the light. That's their choice. But I make a choice of whether or not to play what I call play in the sandbox with them, right? And so it's their choice, whatever it is that they're doing, but then I make a choice of whether or not I want to participate in that. And so I still love them, but it doesn't mean I want to participate with them. And so, but as a reader, someone who puts themselves out there in the way that you do all the time, because it's not just at psychic fairs, you're doing readings from your home, you know, on Zoom or telephone or whatever. So, and you're teaching people. And so I know that you are constantly on alert, right, and aware of the frequencies around you at all times. Is there a tool or a technique or something that you want to share with people in how you accomplish that, to keep your frequency of love, other than the meditation? Well, you mentioned lighting a white candle, but if you're at an event, you can't light a white candle.
That's true. That's
so
true.
do you just intend that the light go out?
Well, what I do, I wrap myself in the diamond light of the universe. Just visualize, just wrapping myself. So anything like negative or something, I visualize any kind of negative energy. I visualize it going down into Mother Earth to be purified, because the earth purifies everything. So I know some practitioners do something which where they always say return to sender, but personally for me, anything like, say my grandson's in a bad mood, and other kids or whatever, a bad example, but anything negative in the air, I just visualize it being sent to Mother Earth to be purified, because the earth purifies everything. I just absolutely I can't stress enough grounding, protection, and shielding, definitely. Because a lot of times you'll people that are empaths and insensitives, they pick up on energy of other people and I think it's them, but we're all into metaphysical people, and we pick up on other people's energy, and it's that's yeah it yeah, definitely. I'm just trying to think. I would say I would like for anybody out there that's listening, that's thinking about maybe studying metaphysics, I would like for them to go at their own pace and to discover their own individuality as a practitioner, because it's every practitioner and every reader is, they're all about helping people for sure, but they all go about their spiritual gifts and powers differently. And very much I promote individuality and personal empowerment, rather than somebody going on a human ego thing. I just don't want anybody that's thinking about studying metaphysics to be discouraged at all. I would like for them to get with the right teacher or the right books, or I'd love for everybody to study through you, Patricia, because you're just completely spot on, and you teach individuality as I mean, the right things, but you would never discourage any student from
Right.
from
But
that
but
way
I
too.
don't teach, yeah, but I don't
Oh,
teach
okay.
psychic
Okay.
mediumship or readings or anything like uh, Chuck Murphy
Oh, I know,
is
I love him.
actually who I refer everyone to.
Right, right.
Everyone who wants, because I mean, and Arthur, I refer
Oh,
people to
yeah.
Arthur
Oh, yeah.
for tarot and for, for other things. But Chuck Murphy, I have heard so many amazing testaments to him, for him, as far as his gift of teaching people or bringing out people's gifts.
Right.
As a matter of fact, when I used to read at the Dallas Psychic Fair, do you still read at the Dallas Psychic
Oh, yeah,
Fair?
I do.
Yeah.
I love it
And
there.
so in order to be a reader at the Dallas Psychic Fair, you have to test with two other readers. Well, you have to test with Cheryl, I did, the founder, and then two other readers. And so one of my favorite things was when I was sitting there waiting for the next person to walk up. Sometimes somebody would walk up and I would go, I would introduce myself and say, what can I help you with today? And it was always such a gift for them to say, oh no, I'm here to read for you today.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, because they were testing. And so I'm like, oh great, I get to get a reading, a freebie. And but that's one thing that really expanded my view on the ways that people connect in, was because different people had different tools.
Absolutely.
One lady, one young woman, she was so beautiful, and she approached me, and the same thing, she was there to test. And I thought, well, what is she, what's she going to bring out? What cards is she going to bring out? What is she going to do? And she had a little bag, a little satin bag with her. And she plopped it on the table, and I thought, well, what is that for? And she said, I want you to reach in the bag and I want you to connect with 5 items. I think she said 5, I don't know. But she said, I want you to reach in the bag and connect with 5 items and lay them on the table. And I thought, okay, and so I did. And I think one might have, I'm just going to make this up because I don't remember. I'm going to say one was, she had little representations of everything. Hello, Kitty.
Yeah, this
She
is
had little
Kelly.
representations, like like the Monopoly game. She had a little house. She had a key. She had a dice, she had a car, but they were little tiny like this representations of different things. And so when you reach in the bag, you would pull out something and she would give you a reading based on what you brought out. That was so unique for me, for someone to read off of, off of that thing. And then one lady showed up who she brought 2 decks with her. One was a regular playing card, and one was a large deck of cards. I mean, big cards, and they were solid black. I think they had a pattern on the back, but it was so worn that you couldn't even tell what the pattern was. And the cards were so worn, they just looked like they were going to fall apart. And she had been reading for 50 or so years. She was kind of up in age, and she had been reading for so many years, but she said that she hadn't read publicly, like in that arena, that she just, people would contact her. But she had just decided at the ripe age of 80 something that she was going to step out and go to the site, offer public readings like that. I was so proud of her.
Yeah.
But she amazed me because she asked me, what I wanted to know. And my answer is usually just tell me what you see, tell me what's coming, tell me what you see. What do I need to know? And because normally people step up with love, relationships, career, health. Those are the 4 areas, right?
Yeah.
And so I like to start out by saying, just tell me what you see. What do I need to know? And so she started shuffling these black cards. She started shuffling them, and she never looked at those cards, Helen. She never once looked at those cards. She shuffled these cards and she would lay one down, and she never left eye contact with me. And she would get, when she laid one down, she would give me a message, but she never looked at that card. I was so amazed by her. And she didn't, she was only there at the psychic fair for about 3 months. And I guess it was just, she determined that was not her arena, you know. She was more comfortable doing one-on-ones and, you know, in privacy or whatever. But so that arena is not for everybody, you know. And I know that I don't do readings in that wide arena anymore. I really prefer, you know, just one-on-one without, I have no idea, Helen, how you do it, because it was so hard for me being at the Dallas Psychic Fair with all the noise and all the other energies going on, you know. So you just put a shield around you. Is that what you do?
Yes, yeah, I can't stress enough grounding, protection, and shielding. And I will say this is what I really want for everybody that's just starting out with metaphysics. I absolutely want them to be enthusiastic and excited about learning about the universe in metaphysics. And I absolutely, my prayer is that anybody that's just starting out in metaphysics will get with the right teacher that will allow their natural spiritual gifts to blossom with as them as an individual, not just a cookie cutter, a text message, well, not text message, but a textbook thing where it's got to be this way. Because a lot of people get scared and they cry in class, and they said, well, somebody sitting to the right of me told me that I have to have my feet against the ground a certain way, or if I didn't have perfect posture, the spirit world wouldn't bless me or give me information. And I just think there's some great teachers out there, but I just very much promote individuality for all readers, even if they've been out there 100 years, or that it just everything, and just, you know, helping people and all that. That it's there's probably 20 million ways to connect with spirit, and everybody is so different. It's
right. Because I have had people, when they learn that I do readings, they'll say, oh, what card deck do you use? Well, everybody doesn't use tarot cards.
Right. Exactly.
And so, yeah, you have to find your gift, your way of connecting, because when I do readings, my readings are just intuitive, you know, like you channel and I channel. When I do readings, I just channel. I have tried to learn tarot cards. And
don't even bother.
It's comical.
Yeah.
It is comical when I try to learn tarot or ruin or any of that. It's almost comical because I've tried to memorize the cards, and the beings that I work with are just, you know, falling out laughing at me going, you want to do what? You know, that's not your gift. You can't pretend to be something that you're not.
Oh, no.
I
I think that is absolutely perfect, because I mean, cards or runes, I mean, that's just visuals. But absolutely, just after a person is just in a relaxed state, or for lack of a better word, and it'll just come to you, just the energy flow, and that's the answer. And I would say anybody out there, the first thing that comes to you when you're reading for somebody is the right answer, and it's something that they're needing to know. And it's just amazing how the spirit world gives us our information to help these people out there that we're reading for. Or it's just amazing.
Yeah, it is, because you have to trust your first insight. I don't want to say instinct, but your first insight, you have to trust it, because so many times I've gotten information for people and I'm in my human brain, I'm going,
Right.
you want me to say what? You want me
Yeah.
to tell them what? I'm
Yeah.
going to tell them that. As a matter of fact, I used to, I had a very dear friend. I'm not going to call her name because I don't know if she would appreciate that, but I had a very dear friend who was a psychic medium and still is. And well, I've got two of them in the same, but they would argue with spirit in front of me when I was having a reading. But I loved them for this, though. It was very endearing. So I'm not criticizing them, right? But it was very endearing for me. And they would have a full-on conversation with spirit. And sometimes they would go, I'm not telling her that,
Yeah. I've had to stop and reword it because you're going to think if I tell them exactly what Spirit's saying verbatim, they're going to think, oh my gosh. So I try to,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
But I've done that too. I've gone, you want me to tell it, but I mean, but I don't do it where the person can hear me say, you want me to tell them what? But those two women, I love them so much. But they will do that. They'll say, you want me to tell them what? I'm not telling her that, So it's very entertaining. But I wanted to say that all of my readings with you have been so accurate, and I appreciate you so much for what you're doing out in the community, for teaching people and just shining your light, because you're always so full of love and and positivity. I've never heard you say a bad word about anybody. I don't know if you're capable of it. You're probably not. But I mean, you're always so encouraging with everybody, and supportive of all the other readers too. So you are really appreciated, and I love you very much.
Oh, I love you, Patricia. I love your readings too. I know, yeah, I do. I love the fact you're an Aries zodiac sign and you're a real woman and you just get everything done. I just love that Aries energy. I think it's just totally fantastic. Yeah, you're brilliant. Yeah.
Well, I've enjoyed talking with you. So what's your next event? Where are you going to be next?
Oh, okay. I'm going to be at the Dallas Psychic Fair on the uh, June the 4th, and then I'll be in Waxahachie
Oh, good.
on June 11th, and then on the 16th and 17th of June, I'll be at the Entelechea in Richardson working there. That fair, I think it's on a Saturday. And then I'll be doing home readings, and I'm working with, I think the next class I'm going to teach is more on the bringing in the romantic love, somebody that's either maybe they're recently divorced, which is a lot of emotional pain there, or they're trying to get married, or that sort of thing. But
Okay, at Arthur's, right? At Greenman.
yeah, I'm thinking about. Go ahead.
Did I already ask you this? Do you have a web page that tells people where you'll be next?
Well, I've got a newsletter, and I've got something where I think if you Google my name, Helen Watson, it says all about me. I think you can Google it, but I don't
So
have
is it helenwatson.com or what?
I think so, or Helen Watson. I'm just not all that great with the computer. I know it took me a minute to plug into the Zoom thing. And then the Dallas Psychic Fair, I'm on their website, and that's always on there too, to read more about me. And yeah.
Let me see. Let me see if it's helenwatson.com.
What I know my husband's the dark. I know I don't have a website, but it's something like Google. I think Mari or something Googled something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we have to find it, because when I do helenwatson.com, it comes up with an architect, I think. So
Oh gosh. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I'll find it. I'll find the link and I'll include it in the credits.
Oh,
You know, whenever I actually upload the podcast,
okay.
I'll put in there I'll find it and put it in there.
Oh, thank you. I'm just, not so computeristic, but yeah. Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
Well,
Wow.
thank you so much for coming on today. And it's been a great conversation. I've enjoyed all the information. And I'm going to close out the podcast. So I'm going to stop the recording. And before I do that, though, I want to ask everybody to like and follow the podcast, because if you do that, it'll notify you of the next when there's a new podcast loaded. And I've got like 12 people already who have signed up to be interviewed. So there's going to be a lot of information coming out. People from all different perspectives of healing and teaching and doing spiritual work. And so there's going to be a lot of people on here. So anyway, be sure and follow it so you'll get notifications.